today I'm going to show you how to make the mother sauce espagnole, which is like a brown sauce. It usually accompanies some form of beef. So we're going to get started. This one is not that difficult, but it is a favorite. The students really like this one. So what we're going to start off by doing is in this bowl, you will have a whole day to prep this, just like the other sauce labs, if you've seen any of those videos. So in here, I have combined mirepoix. You need a 1/2 pound. So when you divide it up and you put it in your plan sheet, you want 4 ounces of onion, 2 ounces of celery, and 2 ounces of carrot. So you want 8 ounces total, which is a 1/2 pound. So then what I'm going to do is I am going to heat up 2 ounces of butter, which is 4 tablespoons. I'm just going to heat this up, and it melts very quickly. Okay, like so. Just heat that all up. Now, in your recipe, it says to have your mirepoix medium dice. So as that's heating, a medium dice just means like, you just want like a rough chop, and that's just because you're going to saute it and cook it out. Sometimes if it says large dice, small dice, and it just depends on what you're adding to it. This is going to cook for about 1 hour to 1.5 hours. So that's why you want a medium dice, because you want those to stay whole. Where you'll notice with like vegetable-based sauces, it cooks less time, so you're going to cut them smaller. Or if it cooks for 3 hours, you cut them larger just so that they stay whole. Alright, so this is all ready to go. So I'm going to add in my mirepoix. Good to go. And then I'm going to let this caramelize for about 5 to 6 minutes. As that's caramelizing, I am going to show you how to make your sachet. We're going to add the sachet in a couple of steps, but just to have it all prepped and ready, notice I'm multitasking. You can have this already prepped on your prep day. It kind of just depends on how much time you have. So in my sachet, I am going to put 1 bay leaf. And this is just cloth. In your recipe or in class, you're going to use some cheesecloth, which is just a looser weave. This is just regular cloth. It will do the purpose just fine. Do a pinch of thyme, which is just leaf thyme. I'm going to do 2 parsley stems. So I can take those leaves off and throw them away. And I'm just going to fold them up like so. And then what I'm going to do is you're going to have a pinch of black peppercorns, and it says to crush them, so just put them together. And I still need to crush them, so just take that and crush down to break them up. If you really want to get a lot of flavor out of that, you can also toast those up if you have time. You probably won't. Okay? And then you're just going to fold this up. So. And then I'm just going to tie this together. You can usually use twine. We're just using some thread. I can make this longer, and then I can attach it to the side of my pan. So that's all ready. So I'm just going to set that there. And I'm waiting for this to caramelize, so we'll be right back. Alright, so we're back, and if you want to take a look at this, all of my vegetables are caramelized nicely. They're a light brown color. You don't want to over caramelize them, or else the butter kind of goes away, and you still want the butter. Because now you get to make a roux. And for this, because it's an espagnole sauce, it's a brown sauce, so you're going to make a brown roux. So to make a brown roux, roux is equal parts flour to butter. So we had 2 ounces of butter, so I'm going to add 2 ounces of flour directly with the vegetables. This one's not made separately. So I'm just going to put that in there. And then I'm going to move my flour around to soak up all that fat and make my roux. And this is going to cook just a little bit longer than if you were going to make a white roux or a blonde roux, just because you want it to be brown to give the sauce its brown color. So it looks dry, but you just keep moving it around or else it will burn. And this will take probably about 5 minutes, and it will smell nutty compared to if you were just making a white or blonde roux. So we'll be right. So I finished cooking my roux, and you can see it's a light brown color, and it's pretty nutty, and it's been cooking for about 5 to 6 minutes. You want to make sure you don't speed this process, or it's going to look dry like this, and that's what you want, okay? Any remaining on here, just take it right off. You want all of that in there. And to that, I'm just going to lower my heat. I'm going to add my stock, but as I'm putting my stock in, I need to be constantly stirring. Ooh, it's a little hot. Okay, be careful. Just a little more. And I'm just going to keep moving this around to incorporate my roux. I'll be right back so the steam can go away. Alright, so you can see all of that broth got soaked up like a sponge into that roux. So I'm just going to keep adding a little bit. I'm going to stop and then mix it. So my roux, when I added that, as you saw, it was very hot, and my stock was also pretty warm. So incorporating warm stock to warm roux is a good method of doing so. The purpose is if my stock was completely ice cold and I incorporate it with the hot roux, sometimes the roux will lump. So this is a nice way of incorporating it. And I just want to keep pressing to get some of those lumps out. So you don't want the lumps, it's disgusting. Okay. Add in the rest of my stock. And to get my brown stock, I'm using just beef bouillon cubes or beef packets. You can make your stock from scratch from beef bones. It just takes about 8 hours to make. Or you can buy canned beef broth. We just use the ready-to-go bouillon. So when you make that, the ratio is 1 cup of water to 1 packet or 1 cube of beef bouillon. So this is all good to go. The next thing I'm going to add to give it its darker brown color is you add tomato puree, and we need 2 ounces. So I'm just going to put that on in there. This is just canned tomato puree. Mix that around, and this is it's going to give it a little acidity, and it helps make it that brown color that you're looking for. Now I'm going to bring this to a boil, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I brought my espagnole to a boil, and you can see it's starting to, you see the big bubbles. So it's just below a boil, it's like at a high simmer, so it's going to start going. So when it gets to that point, you are going to add in your sachet, alright? And if you remember, sachet is just a bag of herbs, so I'm going to drop that right in, and I can fish it out after it's done simmering. You can also attach it to the outside. It's totally up to you. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce this down to a simmer. So I'm going to keep it at like a 3 or 4, and I'm going to cover it. Now it needs to simmer for about an hour to an hour and a half. So what your teacher will instruct you is if you're going to let it stay up here on the range and you'll come back later, or she'll do it for you. So they'll let you know. Alright, so we'll see you back when it's all done, and we'll show you how to present. Alright, so we're back with the espagnole sauce, and if you look at this, it is reduced down. It's pretty thick, and this is what you're looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sachet out, just toss in the garbage. Okay? Then what you're going to do is you want to strain off those vegetables, and you're just going to put it in a colander, like so. All out. We're good to go. I would start cleaning that right away, and then what you're going to do is just sieve this through to get all those vegetables, all the sauce in the bottom. Now, because we're using this colander, we're not using like a china cap, you really got to kind of push it. And then what you're going to do is, this is still day 1. On day 2, you'll reheat your sauce, and then you will make a hamburger patty. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we'll be right back. So now the Bechamel sauce is day 2. It's warming up. It's completely free of vegetables. And now I'm going to make my burger patty. You're going to be sharing this with other groups. So you only get one. So even though this has a lot of fat in it, you still need to put just a little bit of oil to prevent sticking. Just a little. You don't need to add a lot because you don't want it to be completely greasy. So I'm going to add like a capful, which is like a teaspoon. And just heat that up. Okay. Wait until it's shimmering. Alright, so it's all shimmery, ready to go. So just make sure the bottom is completely coated. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my turner, and you should hear a sizzle. And you're just going to start letting it cook. Don't touch it too much. I notice kids always right away start smashing their hamburger down. Just let it do its thing. You can, just so you don't want it to stick, just keep kind of picking up the bottom to prevent the sticking. But don't press it down yet, okay? So once the bottom has started cooking, then I'll flip it over. So I'll show you that in 1 second. Alright, so here's my hamburger, and you can see it's starting to get a little golden brown on the bottom. So I'm just going to look at the bottom. If you look at it, it is nice and golden brown. So now I'm going to flip it, okay? Not pressing. Just let it kind of cook, alright? No pressing yet, alright? I'm going to lower my heat because it's pretty hot because the oil is very hot. Alright, so we are back. Sorry about these towels. So my burger's done, and I did a medium rare, so I am going to serve it right in the center. So normally, like, this is kind of like meatloaf, okay? So you can put some mashed potatoes below, and then you would put your burger patty right on the top. And then here's my sauce, and as you can see, it's very smooth, reheated. It reheats really nicely. It doesn't separate. And then I am just going to take a little bit of this sauce, and I'm going to spoon it on the top, and then wait for it to kind of drizzle off. And then you can take some parsley or some shredded carrot, put it right on the top, and then eat and enjoy. Thank you.